Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Being Better Everyday podcast. If you are like me, business is hard. And sometimes you are probably thinking, how in the heck am I supposed to learn everything? SEO, design, Pinterest, podcasting. I can feel like there are hundreds of hats and you only have one head. So here's the thing, I don't try to learn it all on my own. My shortcut is actually online courses. They've been my secret weapon as a small business owner because they let me tap into experts for a fraction of the price of hiring somebody one on one. I can learn at my own pace, go back when I need a refresher, and apply those skills directly to my business. So today, I'm sharing the courses that have made the biggest difference for me, plus 3 reasons why I believe online courses are one of the biggest investments you can make and affordable investments that you can make if you want to scale faster without breaking the bank. And yes, I will be touching on AI because AI is not going to replace a good old course. So let's get into it. I am on a journey to get better in all areas of my life, and I want to do it with you. Welcome to the Being Better Everyday podcast, where we dig deep into all the things a millennial mom needs to know. From how to juggle your passions with your full-time job, to asking the hard questions about hormones and health, and learning from one another along the way. I am Julie Wenslick, and as a mom, business owner, and corporate girly, sometimes life can feel like a lot. So join me in the journey of being better every day, where we create habits and routines that support your life, create calm in the chaos, and put the you back in your everyday. Grab those headphones, put on your shoes, and join me on a walk while we get started with today's episode. So, first and foremost, why do online courses matter for small business owners? Again, I think it's a matter of we all have a certain amount of time in the day, and especially as somebody who is, when you're starting out, you're not typically running and starting a business full time on its own. You probably have some other priority, whether it's your family, whether it's a job, or something. Like, it's very rare that I know a small business owner who's starting out and doesn't have another responsibility. First of all, courses compress your time, right? They're giving you the ability to learn faster than learning on your own. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because you're learning from somebody who's already figured it out and learning from somebody who has done the research, does have the expertise. Hopefully, again, if you're investing in a course that's worthwhile. And again, we'll get into the courses that I invest in. They are definitely more affordable than on your own coaching or consulting. So, for example, if I look at one of the courses that I invested in was SEO on Tap. I think it averages around $1,000 to $1,500. But if I wanted Abby one-on-one, who is the course creator, she's $500 an hour. But she has hours of resources in there, and she does monthly calls for you to ask questions. So you're getting her scalable price as well. So it's kind of a no-brainer that it's going to be more affordable than hiring one-on-one for that work because the business owner can then also scale. And you can learn on your own schedule. So it's perfect for side hustlers, for parents who do want to, learn on their own, learn at night, learn when maybe other people aren't learning. And for me, I often do my courses early mornings or evenings. Again, learning on your own schedule. And it obviously creates confidence too, because you can go back and relearn. So my favorite courses, I've listened to them more than once. I listen to their updates. I retake them as the industry changes because you usually have it for a lifetime. So it makes a huge difference from that perspective as well. Just to digress for a sec, I truly never thought I was going to be the mom who had like all the neighborhood kids over at my house. I don't like noise. So I didn't think I was going to be that mom. However, I actually do really like it because then I know where my kid is and what she's doing. So yesterday, again, digressing, yesterday my daughter had 3 neighbor kids over and they were running around the house, and it's, like I said, just not what I envisioned, but motherhood never is what you envision, is it? Okay, so back to courses, because that is why you're here, probably. Let's talk about, before we get into my favorite courses and kind of listing them out, and I do have a surprise, something I'm putting out into the world at the end of this, let's talk about why AI doesn't replace a course. I mean, first of all, like, especially now, you might be thinking, why would I buy a course when I can just use AI to teach me something for free? And here's the truth. AI is amazing and I use it almost every day in my business for brainstorming, speeding things up, and giving you ideas in real time. But it's not a replacement for a well-built course because a course is organized. It gives you step-by-step path, so you're not piecing together random information or getting half truths or only getting part of it or maybe even getting outdated information because you don't really know where the AI information is coming from. And, especially like as I think about Pinterest, like AI's information is just plain wrong. And same with SEO. So AI can speed up sometimes, but it's certainly not going to give you the right questions. It's not going to give you the right answers. And then you don't have to try to figure out if their answers are correct either. So it just isn't to a point, and I don't know if it ever will be, right? Because right now, AI is not sifting through quality. Search engines have done a ton of work around making sure that they are prioritizing quality content. That is not something that AI is doing. And so you could be getting the random Joe Schmo, the plumber, who is talking about Pinterest and he knows nothing about it. Or again, somebody with outdated information or archaic ideals just so that they can sell something to you. So it really is something that you just cannot rely on. So when you invest in a course, you're not just buying the information, you're buying the authority. You're learning from somebody who's already done the thing, who's tested it and refined the system that works. It cannot filter quality that way. And it doesn't know like what's proven, what's ethical, or what's actually going to move the needle in your individual business. So think of AI as your assistant. It can help you brainstorm or take action faster or refine things as you learn. But a course, that's your blueprint. It's your shortcut for somebody who's already walked away and has been on the road that you're on. Now, as we talk about the courses that I've invested in, again, that is probably the biggest thing that I've invested in my business. I have done coaching, but candidly, it just does not move the needle like courses do. And I am a service provider business. I'm sure that changes depending on what you do for business. But for me, as a service provider business, courses have been the number one mover in my business. So first and foremost, we're going to start with my favorite. I'm going to link these all in the show notes in case you do want to take them. I will say I have an affiliate link for SEO on Tap, which is the first course that I'm going to talk about. I do not have affiliate links for any of the other courses. So first and foremost, my favorite course and one that is really the foundation of my business as it stands today is SEO on Tap by Duo Collective. SEO on Tap is a self-paced SEO training for entrepreneurs where you are looking to DIY your SEO. I have been trained from the best, Duo Collective, where they can teach it on your own if you want to learn on your own. Now, you could learn on your own and still outsource it, and so that you're not getting quote unquote ripped off by somebody who says they're an SEO strategist or an SEO bro and they actually don't know what they're talking about. But again, SEO Tap is a bite-sized, each module is like 10 to 15 minutes. I think there's like 20 plus modules where it's a self-paced SEO training. It's going to teach you how to do keyword research. It's going to teach you how to blog. It's going to teach you how to deal with AI. It's going to teach you how to show up on social from an SEO perspective, how to set up Google Search Console, how to set up Google Analytics, like all the things. And if you're a client of mine listening to this, some of the things that like I've taken this and I've done it for your business. Now, one of my goals for 2026 is to then also record modules on how to navigate your own Google Analytics, how to navigate your Google Search Console. So my clients will also get these resources once I record them because, time. But I'm also like in their back pocket for Telegram. But it's going to give you basically what I do, but if you want to do it on your own. And it's, SEO is something that is constantly changing. So even if you take this course and you set up the fundamentals, it is changing. And so you do need to plug in and kind of own as a business owner, like I don't want to outsource this. I want to do this myself. It's going to allow you to, and obviously I've done a million podcast episodes on SEO, so hopefully this concept is not new at this point, but it's going to give you those organic leads, right? It's going to teach you how to do organic marketing and get leads from search, whether that's Google, Bing, AI, etc. It's also going to teach you how to repurpose content and manage your content going forward. Again, it has been one of the best value courses. I know they're probably increasing their prices in 26. So depending on when you're listening to this, price may be different. But if you do want to do that course, I do have an affiliate code. It's on my marketing resources page. but it's Julie W. Basically is the code for $50 off. And then obviously I get credit for it as well, but it does give you a little bit of a discount as well. So again, huge investment that I made last year. And now, as I've said on my social and everywhere else, like I'll never build a website without SEO again. It's just, even if you don't intend to be seen by search, like if that's not your primary market, why wouldn't you want to also be seen by search? But also it's just, I just feel like every web designer should know and understand SEO. And that's the original reason why I took it. But I do have a huge passion for like helping people be seen now because of it. So that would be course number 1. The other major course, again, I have a degree in finance. So what I've had to do is invest in courses on my own that level up my skill set and make me a more confident entrepreneur in what I am doing for my clients. So this is going to be very specific to branding and web design, but it's a self-paced design course called the Designer's Summer Camp, called CAMP for short. It's 7 modules teaching brand identities, design tools, portfolio projects. It gives you basic and advanced web design in Figma. It teaches you Adobe Illustrator, like literally the actual design fundamentals behind why things are designed the way that they are. So that is a course that I've been working through in 2025. Now, this course is a beast. It is probably a good 20 hours of coursework with homework, with modules, and I will only have this course access for a year. So this is not an evergreen course, and I will need to prioritize going through it again because it is that quote unquote beastly. And I'm still learning. Adobe Illustrator is a program that does not come naturally to me, and that's hard for me. You'll hear it on other podcast interviews, but generally things come really easy to me. And Adobe Illustrator is not. So it's been a challenge for me. But this is how I am able to continually build my authority behind my design eye. Like I have always had a natural design eye, but now I'm building the authority behind it by having the language to go with it. On that topic, I think one of the courses that really built my passion of this direction in my business is a Procreate course. I actually took more than one. I can't find the original one that I took. So the other one that I took was Procreate by Bree Design Co., where she teaches digital illustrations that move. I'm totally forgetting the name of it, but whatever. But it basically teaches you how to illustrate in Procreate. And it isn't necessarily for branding. I'm using it for branding, and I have absolutely fallen in love with Procreate. Unfortunately, I had a year of Procreate on my iPad, and then I wiped my iPad and traded it with my mom and lost all of my designs. I'm still sad about that because I had some really good drawings on there that I like wanted to print and have as art, and I lost them. But it's not a long course, but it's an example of being able to turn your creative skills into taking a course to up-level your creative skills. And I'm sure there's courses on a million different things, right? And this is one where it is, again, pretty niche specific to the design world. But if you love drawing or love like just wanting a creative outlet, that's actually why I took the original course. Was I wanted to be able to have a creative outlet and draw on my iPad, and I didn't know how. And so I invested in like a $40 course, and it kind of snowballed into what you see today for P&W Designs is being able to show the uniqueness of Procreate and the amazing things that you can do with it. So you're posting on Instagram, showing up on stories, and even making reels. But what if I told you there's a platform where content could work for you for months or even years? It's Pinterest. And if you're not using it, it's time to fix that if you are creating long form content. So grab my free Pinterest marketing guide and I will walk you through how to set up your profile, find the right keywords, and start showing up for your dream clients, and they'll actually see your content instead of having it last for maybe 4 hours. Go to buypwdesigns.com/Pinterest-marketing-guide. That's buypwdesigns.com/Pinterest-marketing-guide, and let's get you found. Don't worry, it is a long guide, but guess what? It'll give you everything you need to know to start showing up on Pinterest and getting started right. Now, the last 2 are going to be the OG courses that I took, and these would be back during my planner days. She just lowered her price again, actually. So, number one is called the Podcast Lab by Jenna Kutcher. This is going to teach you how to do what I'm doing right now, which is do a podcast. And this is going to give you all of the fundamentals of what you should be thinking about when you launch your podcast. What's an intro, how to schedule it, what systems there are, what technology you need, basically like the basics of starting a podcast. Now, I will say I took this course, but I also had a friend who is a very high-end podcast producer, and I leaned on her as well. So it wasn't just Jenna Kutcher's course that allowed me to launch my podcast successfully. It has been helpful. But for $400, I mean, again, if you don't have another resource, if you don't have a friend to ask, it certainly does give you the basics to start your own podcast and know how to monetize it and know what you should and shouldn't be doing and how to operate. It is a pretty bite-sized course that gives you an easy idea to produce, publish, promote, and profit off of your podcast. My way of profiting is just having ads in my podcast and talking about things that like my services. I just like my podcast because it gives me long form content and an ability to go deeper in things that I can do on social media. So my podcast is not monetized, but there certainly are people that have monetized their podcasts and have used her ideas to do that. And the other one is the Pinterest Lab. Now, I will say I like the Pinterest Lab because it gave me the fundamentals to do Pinterest on my own. And it is thorough, and she did just redo it with current standards. But what I feel like it lacks, so it's thorough in teaching you how to set up a profile and how to set up your boards. But what I feel like it lacks is a huge miss, and that is teaching you the best systems to batch content. She talks about it, she doesn't teach on it. And I also think that her marketing is not transparent in the level of success that you can have on Pinterest depending on the type of business you have. If you have a business that is naturally Pinterestable, lack of a better word, that is visual. So photography, product-based businesses, workout, fitness-based businesses, wellness-based businesses, like those are going to inherently do better on Pinterest than a coach or a mom blogger, or these are just ones that I know of. Doulas. I love my clients, but I'm just using you guys as examples of like we have to tamper expectations on volume. Like at one point I had a Pinterest client that was getting over 1,500 clicks out to her website a month, but she was a Pilates instructor. And so that is naturally like the market for Pinterest. And so her results are much higher than probably 10x the results of, my next, like a mom blogger or a coach, because, they're probably at 100, 200 people out to their website a month, which again, if you're getting 200 people out extra to your site a month, like that's great. But it is kind of tampering those expectations. And I think Jenna just doesn't do a good job of that. And I think she just is like, it's great for everyone. And I'm like, kind of, but you do need to like, have realistic expectations. And she does have like a template kit. She has keyword organizer. I mean, some of these things like I don't even use on her course because I just don't feel like they're valuable. So it was a great start. I really do like her sales page, candidly. I mean, again, she pays a lot of money for people to do her sales pages. However, it does not teach systems well. And I think that's a huge miss for people who really do want to do Pinterest in an hour a week, which is what she sells. And you can absolutely do Pinterest in an hour a week, but she doesn't really teach the system to do that in a way that makes sense. So here's my plan. I have had 4 people reach out to me in the last couple of weeks with regards to teaching them Pinterest. And I have had it on my heart for over a year to do a Pinterest course. I do plan on doing it because what I want to do is take the best practices that I have been taught, but teach it in a way that is a repeatable system so you as a business owner can actually do it in an hour a week or less. I would say I average 3 to 4 hours max a month on Pinterest. So look for that in the next quarter or so, maybe more. But again, my plan is I do Pinterest support. I do have ongoing Pinterest clients. I have wanted to stop individually teaching people things and record modules on things that I am teaching over and over again. And so that way they can just hire me for help on top of that. But you get the fundamentals and you get my system, which again is the biggest, I think, value is my system is better than Jenna's, candidly. Look for that in the next 6 months. I always look for the most efficient way of doing things. Back to courses. That's why I take courses, because it is the most efficient and fastest way to learn something. And for me, I'm teaching people the same thing over and over again. So I might as well just course it and then allow them to buy up to my individual templates and to the actual or the board optimization side of it. So you could outsource some of it, but not all of it, and then make it more affordable approach. So I will be working on that. And I do have people that are already like, yep, I'm in. So I just need to kind of use them as guinea pigs. I hope this shows you the depth and the variety of courses that are out there. I think I've invested anywhere between $100 for a course to $2,000 for a course. One of the courses that I invested in at one point was a VA course, and I think she has a lot of resources. But do I feel like I got my value out of it? No, because I didn't utilize it and I didn't end up going the VA route, right? So I spent $2,000 on something that I didn't get the full value out of. So you do need to make sure, and this is hard. The hardest thing about courses is actually staying committed and finishing the course. I get that. And so even when I create the Pinterest course, I'm going to take from the book of SEO on tap and make my modules less than 10 minutes, because then you can slowly work through them. And I do think that's important as an experience. So, courses are certainly my secret weapon. I think they should be yours as a business owner. If you are looking to learn something, it is worth the investment, in my opinion. It certainly saves you money because it is more affordable than hiring one-on-one. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do this Pinterest course, is because it just feels like inefficient to keep teaching somebody the same thing about how I schedule my pins and how I batch them, when I could just record it and they can learn on their own, and then we can have live calls to ask questions. You get that expert level knowledge without the expert level invoice. It obviously saves you time because you're not wasting hours Googling or piecing together free content. And somebody's already created the roadmap for you. I mean, even with the camp course, it's a lot and it's overwhelming. But if I need to double check color theory, I can go to that specific module and rewatch and look at the slides and get that kind of, university level education on something that I can do on my own time. And obviously it saves you sanity too, because you're able to give you that confidence boost of like, okay, I do know what I'm talking about. And you can implement with less stress and less trial and error because you are learning from an authority and you have that resource to go back and rewatch and re-listen when you need to. So hopefully that gives you why I've felt they're so important to my business. I think they can help every business owner in some way. Obviously, depending on what you do, there's going to be more than others. I'm not knocking the coaching industry, but I just think this is another tool that not a lot of people talk about as far as the investment side of it. People are always going to sell their own courses, but they don't necessarily talk about the consumer side of it, of has it been worth it? And to me, it 100% has, even if not every course I finished. I bought a blog one on SEO because I wanted to get a different opinion on it. And it's still sitting in my to-do list. But that's the beauty of like evergreen, right? So my plan for Q4 is to finish all of my courses while also probably building my own with all my free time, because that happens. All right, that's what I wanted to share today. Short and sweet. Online courses have been my not so secret weapon for years now, and they have saved me money that I didn't have and time I didn't want to waste, and the sanity I needed to keep moving forward as a business owner. And the best part, you don't need to know it all. You just need to know where you can find the right people to teach you what you do need to know. And most of the time, that's with a well-crafted course. So here's my challenge for you. Think about one area of your business that feels like the heaviest right now. Is it SEO? Is it marketing? Is it design? Probably not, because unless I'm talking to other designers. Go find a course from somebody that you trust and give yourself permission to learn instead of struggle. And again, if you are looking to outsource, I am here for SEO web design, and branding, so you do not have to do it alone. If this episode got you thinking, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you loved it, leave a quick review or a comment if you are on Spotify or Apple, and it helps more small business owners like you find the show. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time on the Being Better Everyday podcast. And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Being Better Everyday podcast. Thank you for listening. I truly appreciate each listener. If you've enjoyed the conversation, I'd love if you would leave a rating and review or share it with your bestie to help me reach more women looking to ask the hard questions and live above that status quo. To see any visuals, head over to my YouTube channel. Links, socials, and resources mentioned can be found in today's show notes. If you're looking for more, you can find me on Instagram at julie.P&W Designs, sharing the behind the scenes of my everyday life as a millennial mom, corporate girly, and small business owner. Until next time, keep on taking one step at a time towards your version of being better every day.